Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for joining in to another episode of Journey to ZA. I am your host, the Elisa Gary, and I am coming today with an awesome video because I get to directly answer a question from one of our great subscribers. So, today we have a question from, I believe it's Anton Morris. Hopefully, I said your name right, sweetheart. He said, at Elisa Gary, I've noticed from watching several videos of African American expats in Johannesburg that many prefer to live in the northern suburbs. Is that because of the quality of the areas and housing? I've rarely seen AA expats living in Westcliff, Northcliff, or Houghton, except for those featured in the documentary Blacks Without Borders, which was made in about 2008. What are your thoughts? I've noticed that the Blantons on their channel estates north estates north of Joburg too. So, as promised, I asked him to please stay tuned for a video response because I wanted to answer personally. So, with this video, I'm going to kind of show a little bit about what the differences is between those areas, at least from what I saw when we were looking to move here. We kind of had a little bit of a different method in choosing. Honestly, I hadn't really even heard of the Houghton area. Am I saying that right, y'all? Give me the phonetics pronunciation or something in the comments. I know you guys will. You always have my back and let me know when I'm got something mixed up. But we're going to delve into that a little bit, and we're going to show you a little bit of comparison between the different areas that are mentioned in this comment, as well as some areas that we lived in the States, of what you can get for around about 1,800 US dollars, and what may be happening when you're seeing where most African Americans expats are staying, or at least from what you have been experiencing. So with that, we'll be right back. Okay, guys, welcome back. So, as promised, we're going to just do a little bit of a comparison between these areas, right? So, we have Northcliff, Westcliff, and Houghton Estates. Property24.com, for those of you may not know, is a really great place to find information on rental or sales properties in South Africa. That's what we used when we were looking for places to kind of visit and determine where we were going to be staying. So as you can see, this particular video, or this particular search rather, it only gave me about 8 options. And what we did was kind of look for 4 bedrooms, just about no more than 30,000 Rand, which is about, right now with the conversion rate, I think it's like 14.7 to 18, 14.7 to $15. It's about $1,800. So you can see from this particular house in Northcliff, it's a nice size. It's carpeted. A lot of Americans have moved away from carpet, but you know, it has a pool. It's not as well kept. There's some greenery. Kitchen is dated. Definitely, kitchen is dated. But it's nice. It's definitely kind of in that range that you would expect, at least in South Africa. You can see that there's some places to shop nearby, within 1.5 kilometers away. There's about 6 or 7 schools, and there's a couple places to eat, and of course places for worship and things like that. So what we're going to do is kind of look at least one property in each of these areas. Okay, so this one, 22,000 Rand. So this is probably about 1,600 US dollars. Again, not a whole lot of curb appeal, if you will, like wow factor is what we call in the States. Kitchen's a little bit more updated. You got some granite, you have some tiling instead of carpet, which is a plus for Americans. Looks like they've done some upgrades in the bathroom, so this is looking a little better. And yeah, this to me, for somebody that's coming from the States, and I'm going to show you this in a later video, why these things are important to get to the why you may be seeing what you're seeing. I'm just kind of giving you an overview of just even today, not knowing I was going to get that question, but seeing what is available right now if I was looking to move into those areas. Um, Kind of the same thing. You see a couple places for you to go and shop, 5 or 6 schools, entertaining places, which is nice. Again, within 1 to 1.5, maybe almost 2 kilometers away. Okay, so now 8 properties, right? So now we're gonna look into Fourways, Bryanston, and Rivonia. So that's kind of around that same area. We're gonna still look within max of 30K rand, 4 bedrooms plus. I didn't even get into like the bedrooms and stuff, but as you can see, there's 41 properties available. That's as of today. So significantly more properties. And then what I'm going to do is try and pick out one just randomly from the list within that price point and see what you get. You see that? 26,000 rand, between $1,600 to $1,800. You're seeing fresh paint, no carpet. Clearly there's been something done to the kitchen. There's office space, upgraded bathrooms. I'm not the most happy about that type of ceiling. I forget what it's called, but I hear it's a nightmare to take care of. But it's definitely a lot of living space, and you have the outside component, place for the kids to run. Definitely not hurting. It looks like that may be a guest house that it has as well. So for Americans coming here that are used to being maybe in brick cities, as you heard me talk about in the previous video, you're definitely looking for space. If you want to be here for a while, you're making a big move. You don't want to have to be hurting for space. So this is more along the lines of what you're going to be looking for. You see that these cabinets have had some upgrades. The appliances has had some upgrades. Still very unique to a South African bathroom. Not to mention that you guys don't like to put electrical outlets in your restroom. That's a big difference with American properties. But most certainly you can see it's more of an estate feel. There's grass. This property has even gone the distance of applying 3D tour. That's also a plus if you're kind of looking at things from a distance. Significantly more options for food and entertainment, banking, education. There's a few more options. And then you have health areas and, like I said, the 3D tour. So this is another place, 27,000 rand. Again, this is on the upper end, closer to the 1,800 a month range. But again, high-end appliances, kitchens updated, stainless steel. This is a very modern feel. This is something that average middle to upper class American would definitely identify with. It looks like even a garden apartment feel. Now, mind you, I'm seeing this outside now. It's kind of that townhouses feel, brick city type thing. People are right next to you, but it's still very comfortable inside. It looks spacious. Everybody doesn't want to have to deal with the yard and gardening and all of that stuff. So this would be something that would be quite appealing. It has American blinds, 24-hour security, or a boom, and it has aircon. So these are things that a average American would be looking for. Is it safe? Is it, am I going to be comfortable? A lot of people that are coming into South Africa, again, you can see food and entertainment. Significantly more things here in Bryanston within less than a kilometer away. So it's what Americans call walkability. Can I get to it without having a vehicle? Really important. So these are all things that are going to stand out significantly to any American, I would say, but most certainly as an African American. Now, this is Rivonia. This says it's 12,000. This is like a short-term rental. You may be using a part of the house, but I still included it because I just wanted to give you an idea of the style of housing. When we were looking for property, we looked at about 26, maybe 28 properties during our 10 days here. And this was very indicative of Rivonia. You see, this one has a bidet. It's very elegantly staged. In this case, this is probably these people's personal furniture, but very well taken care of. What we noticed between, I'm going to say Northcliff, because you specifically talked about Northcliff. We actually did look in areas in Northcliff. What I found in Northcliff was, although the houses were big, a lot of times they disappointed in bathrooms. So you have this huge house that can fit 7 to 8 people easily, but there's 1.5 or 2 bathrooms, or the layouts were a little weird, or the upkeep on the outside. Now this one particularly, it looks like it's kind of kept well, but I'm also looking at how they did these pictures, and there's a little bit of animation to the picture, so give or take, but it looks like you're pretty much going to get what you're seeing. With the houses, again, I'm not speaking for the area as a whole, but what we saw was really big houses, not the best in terms of sizing or the amount of bathrooms that you were given. You had still kind of good walkability, but it was more likely in Rivonia that you had to kind of drive to stores. Is something that we saw, at least in the properties that we looked at. I don't want anybody saying I'm talking about your neighborhood now, but this is just what we saw. So now what we're going to do, let's start over. We're going to also look in Douglasdale. Douglasdale is a quaint little community. It's only 3 properties available, but I wanted to show it to you anyway, because we looked at this area when we were searching. They did fall, the houses did fall within that. You could find something under 30,000, between 25, 26,000 rand. This one's 21, 4-bedroom. Let's see. So again, really nice amount of space. You're getting that lush green backyard, upkept scenery. You have the pool. The kitchen looks like it had some work done to it. Lots of space. This particular property has some carpet in it, and I did note in the video, you can kind of see there's some staining or what have you, but overall, fresh air, fresh sunlight, natural light, upgraded bathrooms. It's welcoming, neutral paint. There we go. You can see that it's definitely been worn. The house has been used, you know what I mean? So it's not brand new, but that's okay. It just shows that there's been love and care there. There's been some upgrades. It's pretty much what we call move-in ready, right? So again, bathroom, open air space, the extra living spaces. These are things that for an American coming into South Africa, it's not that you can't get these things in the States, but what I'm going to show you from both the East Coast and Maryland, where we're originally from, and then where we subsequently lived in Arizona, what this price range would get you. Again, it's not that you can't get it, but it's kind of what you're going to pay to get the same thing. And then when you start getting to areas like guest houses and stuff like that, different. Now, here we go. Here's another property in Douglasdale. Doesn't look like it had as much kitchen or outside space, but it's still a good size. It looks like they've done some painting. There's tile flooring, window treatments, which is great, air con. There's 2 levels, that kind of unique South African ironwork going up the steps. That's really great. these are things, again, this would be an option for somebody with a bigger family. As you know, there's 7 of us. So this is something that we would have looked at. It is a little bit lower on that 30,000 budget, but it's still an option. Definitely an option for you to look into. So now what we're going to do is take a little bit closer look at some properties. Yeah, this is really good. Outside trampoline, you can see the kids in that pool, not too big. This is something that I will say in regards to, maybe I didn't know the name Houston, but I definitely saw closer in town in Johannesburg. The property seemed to give you a yard, but it was called like what we would call a dog run in the States. So you came outside and it's like the pool's right up against your yard, your back door. That's definitely not something somebody with kids really wants. It wasn't what we wanted anyway. And so that's kind of what deterred us from that area. We wanted something that was kind of lush, had room, the kids could roam, get out of the house, experience their fresh air, and play. So now we're going to look into a couple areas in Maryland. So first we're going to stick within that $1,800 max, and that's where that's equivalent of about less than 30,000 rand. We're going to do 4 bedrooms, at least 2.5 baths, more like 3 if you have girls and boys, but let's see what it gives us. Oh, crapshoot. No matching results. You see that? Ricestown, Maryland. Now, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Ricestown is maybe about a 30-minute ride away. So, as you can see, there's nothing there. There was something like 169 days ago in the $1,650 range, and it's a townhouse. We went down, I think, a bathroom or bedroom. Let's see. Still, no matching results. Now, I chose Ricestown because anybody from Maryland, they understand Ricestown is kind of that area is, you can find apartments and brick cities, but you can also find townhouses and then single family houses that aren't attached. Now, you're seeing for $1,689 plus a month, 3 bedrooms, barely 2 baths, you're getting an apartment. Okay, let's look at Owings Mills, Maryland. Owings Mills is another area. It's not so far out that you can't have public transportation, but people genuinely, actually, let's do Canton first. Canton's in city. Again, no matches. So I know they have 3 bedroom, 2 baths, but it's the amount. You're not gonna find much for $1,800. As you can see down in the similar nearby, it's townhouses, barely 1,400 square feet. They're row houses, meaning your neighbor's right on top of you. The kitchen's barely the size of an apartment. No private parking. A lot of times in the city, what you'll see is there's a little parking pad in the back. It's not really a yard, but it's at least a space to pull your vehicle to say, this is mine, stay off. But again, a lot of nice upgrades. You'll see this very indicative in Canton. The reason why I chose Canton is because in town Santon, where you're getting kind of that downtown Joburg feel, these are very similar. So you can find very nice upgraded properties, new paint, aircon, all of that type of stuff, security, but they're not going to be as big. They're not necessarily all bachelor pads, but they definitely isn't something that you're going to want to try and fit a family size, like a good size family into. You could make it work, but you could find yourself trying to have to relocate soon. You can see from this picture right here, let's make it a little bit bigger. You're right next to your neighbor. Some people don't have a problem with that. If you're a professional, you're in and out of work, you just need a comfy place to be and location, that's fine. But for us, we grew up like this. We didn't want to be right on top of our neighbors. I can imagine even for South Africans, it's like when you're used to having a gated area, maybe it's like, woo, you right, like sneeze and you on your neighbor. Nottingham, okay, Nottingham's good. It's near the White Marsh area. It's at the top of the city near Perry Hall, Perry Parkway. This one, you get more into the townhouse feel. So, a little bigger. This is what you would call a semi-detached house. So, you're not right next to a person, but you see in the back, you're literally your neighbors. I don't even know if there's a separation there. You can see your neighbor. There's a little bit of separation, but you're still in each other's space. Basically, stay on your little patio thing and grill out or talk to each other from across the view. So that concept of just land for days or extra houses, space, stuff like that, really appealing. Really appealing. We're going to look in Ahwatukee and Phoenix now. Okay, so 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Ahwatukee is kind of about 18 minutes away from the airport. So you can see it's still, these houses are like cookie cutter-ish. You can see what I'm saying. You have a pool, but it's not really much room to roam. Let's try a more eastern area. Queen Creek, yeah. So Queen Creek is about an hour away from the city, from Phoenix. It's known for having bigger properties, but it's a horrible drive if you have to go into the city. You're getting more into the $1,400-$1,500 range, which is maybe closer to 21,000 rand. Pardon my conversion right now. A couple $100 less significantly, but definitely you are going to be hurting when it comes down for transport. So the biggest things that I wanted to share with this is that when African Americans are coming here, the idea of lush greenery in the background, having the ability to still walk to places that you want to go, being able to experience really nice schools. It just depends on what their lifestyle is. Those are things they're going to be looking for. So that's maybe why you're seeing a lot of African Americans, such as ourselves, gravitating to more of the northern suburbs. It can be a little disheartening if you're wanting to see people to go into the southernmost parts of the southern suburbs, but it doesn't mean that they are not keen to live in those areas. It may just be that what is available, like on today, it's not available for the sizing of family, or the commute is too far, or it's not offering the same type of feel. I know for us coming from the States into South Africa, if we were going to move into a brick city or not have that kind of lush greenery that I talked about before that I really love, we might as well have stayed in the States. So I hope this video helped out some. I'm sorry if I was rambling a little bit. This is kind of new, doing this whole video and talking thing, but hopefully that answered the question. And then if you are thinking about coming to South Africa, maybe it gives you a little bit of understanding of what's available and what you can find in the country, especially in Gauteng province. So thanks so much for joining, subscribing, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you know when we get new videos and uploads. And of course, join us on journeytoza.com.